Power Chord.
How has your approach to songwriting changed over the years? If it had changed, I don't know.
I don't know. I have a lot of difficulty writing because I write something and I'll think it's cool for 5 minutes and then I think it sucks 1 minute later. And I've probably written hundreds of songs and then just thrown them away. But that's just my own self-doubt, I guess. But I know that, to write a Lagwagon song is harder for me because I feel like it has to sound like a Lagwagon song. And so that maybe takes me out of my just writing from the heart kind of thing. And it's just a battle that I have to fight within my head. Because you shouldn't try to write a song with some sort of intent like that. You should just write a song to write a song, how you feel. And that's always been difficult for me. Like when we wrote Riches to Rags, we had a lot to live up to because we wanted to make a record that was comparable to Rock and Roll Nightmare, but we didn't have Bomber in the band anymore, and Bomber wrote 99% of that record of Rock and Roll Nightmare. And all of a sudden we didn't have Bomber in the band anymore. So we knew we had to come up with something that was over the top, and we might have gone overboard on the riffy stuff on that record, but that record came out pretty cool. So, I'm pretty proud of that record. I'm glad we did it.
Yeah. And you are playing live with RKL nowadays. There's the intention to release something new or not?
We would like to, but everybody's so busy this year and last year, and I don't know, it's hard to find time, and we have to figure out our process. We have sort of a new, we have Abe on vocals now, and he's really easy to work with. So basically anything we come up with, I think he'll be able to come up with stuff with that, but we just haven't really had the time to, but we want to.
Yeah, that's cool. If you could revisit one moment from your career until now, what would it be?
For what?
If you could revisit one moment from your career.
To revisit.
Yeah.
Wow. That's hard to say. I think when we came back from our second European tour, we hadn't toured the States at all for 3 years or so. And we had always done kind of poorly in Los Angeles. All the California fanzines always overlooked us. They said, well, there can't be a punk band from Santa Barbara. Santa Barbara is where all the rich people live, and that's where Ronald Reagan is from. So, we were always overlooked in the punk scene in California and in pretty much the United States. And so that's why we just went back to Europe twice in a row without touring the States. And after the second European tour, we played this show in Reseda, which is in part of Los Angeles, I think. It might be Ventura County, but it sold out immediately, and it was like a pretty decent sized hall, much bigger than most of the places we'd ever played in California. And it was, packed, and we were headlining, and the show was nuts. And that show was like really exciting and great for us. And then we broke up right after that, so I don't really know why.
Okay.
But that was bad timing. I would say, I would like to maybe relive that moment and then not break up and not do Reactivate, and then maybe, record another record with Bomber on drums, and then, maybe we could have stayed on the level with NoFX, because that's when NoFX started getting huge, and we quit.
Yeah. I got some rapid fire questions for you.
Okay.
Gibson or Fender?
Say again?
Gibson or Fender?
Oh, I prefer Gibsons. They don't always play perfectly, but once you get one that does, I mean, I just think I prefer set necks over bolt-on necks. But I mean, bolt-on necks have a cool sound too. I like both. So, but I prefer to play Gibsons live.
Yeah. And what's your favorite RKL song?
Um, at the moment, I would say Sargasm. I always like Scab on My Brain. Um,
It's classic.
but Sargasm, there's no guitar solo, but it's very straightforward, and it doesn't have a million parts in it. Like Break the Camel's Back, I think has, I don't know, 7 separate parts. Each one of those parts could have been their own song.
Yeah.
Plus, that song's like 5 minutes long. It's the worst song for a drummer to try to play. 5 minutes of turbo speed
And,
mayhem.
and besides the Lagwagon song, you most play live. You like most
Say
play
again?
live.
I like most.
The Lagwagon song you like most playing live.
I kind of like that song. Leave the Light On is kind of creepy and cool. I like that one. And Change Despair. Those are both kind of like B-side songs that are fun to play. Interesting chord stuff going on there. And I like some of the old stuff like Going South and Stoking the Neighbors are fun, like fast songs.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them I like to play.
And what's your first concert you ever attended?
The first concert of any kind
Yeah.
was the Knack. The Knack.
Ah, my Sharona.
Yeah, the Knack, and the opening band was the Rubber City Rebels. And at that time, I was 13, I think, and I might have been 12, but probably 13. And there was a lot of backlash, public backlash towards the Knack because before My Sharona came out, they were just kind of like an underground band, and all of a sudden they became the Knack, this huge FM radio band. And so I remember at that concert, there was a local punk rocker from the Santa Barbara area. He was in a band called the Strap-On Dicks, and he went by the name Chris Syphilis. And he had a leather jacket on that said "Fuck the Knack" in huge white block letters. I was a 13-year-old kid, and I loved the Knack, and I was like horrified by that. But that was my first sighting of a real punk rocker. And the Rubber City Rebels, I guess, was the first punk band I ever saw. But I mean, the Knack were great, and that album is great, and it was a really great concert. My first real actual punk concert I ever went to was DOA in Goleta, California, and I was only 5'2" or something, and I went in the circle pit, and someone's elbow hit me right in the nose, and my nose was just bleeding down my shirt, and I just let it bleed, and so there was this little kid walking around the concert with blood all over him, and everyone was just freaking out on me.
Very hardcore.
Yeah.
What about the most underrated punk guitar player, in your opinion?
That's hard to say. There's so many good ones that come to mind. I mean, even East Bay Ray might be considered underrated because he doesn't stand out as like a shredder, but if you try to play his parts, they're kind of awkward and cool. Olga from Toy Dolls, but I wouldn't say he's underrated, but Captain Sensible. I mean, these guys are not really underrated, so to speak. But oh, that's a tough question. I'd have to come back to that.
And what about inside your favorite guitar riff? Any kind of music?
Any kind of music would probably be probably an AC/DC song. I love the simplicity and the power of AC/DC. I can't really put my finger on exactly which song. I mean, I love some of the more complicated AC/DC songs like Riff Raff. That song is really cool. But even like some of the simple ones are so genius and awesome. So let's just go with Riff Raff for now.
Yeah, my brother would say "Scab my brain." I guess. Let's see.
Oh.
We are in the end of the interview, Chris, and I would like to know one word to describe RKL.
Liquid.
Liquid. And Lagwagon?
Bran muffin.
And
No, I don't know. Frisbee.
Frisbee. Okay. What about Lagwagon plans? There is something burning, or
we're leaving next week to play a bunch of festivals in Europe.
I saw it.
And then we're coming back to Europe again in the summertime. Now Fat Records is part of Hopeless Records.
Yeah.
And they're pushing us to record, so that's the plan.
Okay. Very cool. Good news. Good news. Hey, Chris, I would like to thank you, really. I'm sorry if I was a stalker somehow with you, but I really care about this talk. So cool. Thank you a lot. See you around. I hope in Italy soon.
Cool. Well, thanks for having me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you, Chris. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Power Core.